Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. This is Tasha M. Data Trade Whisper, creator of the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. Let me officially welcome each and every last one of you to our Monday morning profit call. So this is our 9 a.m. call, and I just want to officially welcome each and every last one of you all. So as you guys log into the line this morning, I want to make sure that you drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from. Along with those affirmations, drop it in the chat. We're about to get this call started in just a moment. Drop it in the chat. Where you are calling in from along with those affirmations. All right, guys, definitely want to make sure you do that. All right, so give me 1 second. And we're going to get this call started. Now, guys, make sure you're dropping those affirmations. We're about to walk through this, but I want to make sure that you're definitely dropping those affirmations in because your mindset is critical. Your mindset is key to your success and your understanding as far as us diving in the market. I'm trying to make sure I got all my tabs and everything going so we can analyze everything as we go in this morning. All right, just want to make sure that we're all right there. We kind of did some analysis this morning, kind of walk you guys through some things. And as you can see that this is Monday, which is our mixed market Monday. Definitely want you guys to be aware that that is what this is. And no matter where you're joining us in from, no matter where you're dialing in from, you want to make sure that you drop that in there. Okay, guys? We want to drop it in there. So let me see, who do we have on the line? Good morning, Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning, Toledo. Good morning, Stone Mountain. Good morning, Fort Polk, Louisiana. Good morning, Columbus, Ohio. Good morning, Manchester, UK. Good morning, Georgia. Good morning, Columbus, Ohio. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Minnesota. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning. 777 after the first call. Club 777 Club Compounding. I'm telling you guys that compounding, I'm telling you right now. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely want to make sure that you're dropping that in the chat where you're calling in from and those affirmations, right? I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in profit. I am 777. All right. We want to make sure that we are walking in that. Okay. We definitely do. We have to walk in it. All right. So let's see here. Let me go ahead. Now, as I get my screen shared together, if this is your first time here with us this morning, good morning, Stone Mountain. Your first time here with us, let me get a 111 in the chat. If you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222, right? A 222. If you are cashing out, I want a 777. If you cashed out at all, I want a 777. And if you are compounding, let me get a 333, right? Look, I like it. You're like, look, I'm a 222, a 777, and a 333, which means that I can profit, I can make money, I can walk in wealth as I'm still learning. I love that. All right, I love it. Learning and cashing out. There we go. Good morning. Okay, we just straight compounding. I love it. We just go straight compound. And guys, I'm telling you, it makes the world of difference, okay? And I just want to see everybody walking in that. You're like, I'm going to tell you now, I'm straight compounded. That's what I'm doing. And so for those of you the reason I want to separate, let me be very clear this morning. The reason why I want to separate that, the reason why I want to make sure that you guys understand that is because we are walking in this is an educational process, okay? This is an educational journey. And if we're walking in that and we understand that, then we're not going to try to force it. So get some consistency, cash out, right? We probably need to change that compounding to like an 888, just so we can stay with the flow, so we can stay in some sort of order. Because we already know 777 in the chat means that we are Definitely, right? We are definitely cashing out. And then that next step is compounding, okay? Don't go from learning, go from being new on the call to compounding. Get some consistency, attach your trade account, and then you start compounding, because you can make some nice profit just by cashing out, but you want to build that consistency. And that's why I want to know what you're doing, because we've been talking about it, we've been training on it, and I want to know if you're actually putting it into action, okay? I'm telling you, you want to put it into action. All right, good morning. Yes, 888 for the eighth wonder of the world. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Milwaukee. Let me see. I had at Milwaukee again, and I had Essex, UK. And so I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. Let's get our minds right? Let's get our minds right. Because what we definitely want to do is we want to walk. We want to walk in a mindset, right? We want to walk in the thought process. We want to walk in the understanding of where we're going, right? And so we have to understand who we are, and we have to see it before we can see it. That means you see yourself as an educated, right? An educated trader is a profitable trader. So I see myself as an educated trader. I see myself as an educated trader, as a profitable trader. I see myself, right? I see myself. That's how I see myself. And then, so I'm saying it more than once on purpose. It's Monday, and we're going to start the week out right. So an educated trader is a profitable trader. Okay. All my trades end in profit. The same way when you go to work, you expect to get paid. We used that analogy this morning, talking about the liquidity in the market. But when you get up and you show up at that location, there is an expectation for you to get paid. So because you are skilled, there is an expectation for us to walk in that wealth. And then, right? So all my trades end in profit. I am 777. I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. We do not give signals. Someone asked me this morning, I had a message that I woke up to about signals. Help me, help me, help me. You are the signal. You are the signal. You are an educated master trader anointed for wealth. You are the signal. Your trades in profit, and you are walking around, and that is how you become a walking ATM. I can guarantee you, as long as I've been doing this, okay, as long as I've been educating, as long as I've been being educated, as long as this has been happening, I have not met one person that operates in wealth, one person that's obtained the desires of their heart from a signal, okay? You are the signal. And that is why we emphasize you are an educated trader. All right. I want to highlight, I want to emphasize, I want you to know you are an educated trader anointed for wealth. Haven't met one. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let me go ahead and refresh. Now, what we know is it's Monday. Let me break this down for you. It's a mixed market Monday, okay? It's a mixed market Monday. That is what this is, okay? It's a mixed market Monday. So understanding that we have a mixed market Monday, we also understand that it is a money-making Monday. Just like this morning, as I walk you through that trade, and I walk you through some an analyzation, I'm gonna get my words together. I walk you through that. What you guys understood is that you began to see how that market flows. So it doesn't matter the type of market. What is important is the type of trader that you are. And because you're educated traders, that's how you're able to do those 888s. You see how I changed that on y'all? I changed it to an 888. So that's how you guys are able to compound. So, all right, that's how you're able to do that. Because I just want to keep some flow, because I've been mixing the numbers up. So y'all can blame it on me. Y'all flow with me. Just flow with me. Just flow with me. All right. So now we know that. So now, for those of you all who are new to this call, for those of you all who are joining us, right, the way this call schedule works as we go through the news, the way this call schedule works is Monday through Thursday at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. We are live in the market. We're live in the market, analyzing the market, and we're showing you how to implement what you've been educated upon. This is why you see so many 888s. Thank you, Dr. Kenna, for rolling with me. Just flow with me. Thank you. So this is why you see so many 888s. This is why you see the compounding happening, is because we educate and implement. And then on Tuesday and Thursday nights is your education, right? That is your education. That education comes, because we're going to walk you through. We're going to build a solid foundation. We build a solid foundation. You understand the movement, the strategy, then you can turn around and implement it and utilize the tools. So we're very intentional about our call schedule. And that is why, like I said, we're having the success that we are ultimately having. That's why you guys are so educated, is where you're understanding how to exactly use those tools. Now, I want to be clear as we go through this call, the 9 a.m. call, is a little bit faster. It's a faster pace call, okay? Now, that is because the indices are faster. So, we just have to make the adjustments. So there is no, I'm going to do one or the other. The 5 a.m. and the 9 a.m. call are different intentionally, right? We will only need one call if they were the same. So they're different intentionally. I'm not going to get back on here at 9 o'clock and just do the same setup from the morning. So they're different intentionally, and we have a different focus on this call. All right. I want to be very clear. Now, what we also know is that at 10 o'clock, we have a red folder. Okay. We get in the habit of opening these red folders. It tells you, why do traders care? And as you begin to understand why traders care, you see, that's why we have a talk with the finance doctor, because he can break it down. He can let us know what is and what is not, right? He can let us know those things. So if we don't have to become economists, I want to relieve some of your anxiety. You do not have to become an economist. All you have to do is understand why we care as a trader, because it's what gives the market direction and liquidity. All right. And then we have some more red folders tonight. All right. If you're up trading at that time. And then, of course, same thing happening over here. Now, if we do a quick recap, you can kind of see where this kind of tapped off of here, where it kind of walked. Like, I'm going to walk you through the BYOB cash out strategy, but what I'm not going to do is redo these trades. Now, for those of you all who were on this morning's call, what you can begin to see is my GBP USD is now triggering for a buy. My GBP AUD is also triggering for a buy. And so remember, we're about to get a liquidity push. Why that change? Well, Monday morning, US market opens at 8 o'clock. So technically at 5 o'clock, okay, at 5 o'clock last night, 5 o'clock Sunday evening, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the market itself opens. And so we understand that starts with our Asian sessions, and you got the Sydney and the Tokyo. So we understand that it starts with those sessions. These are the biggest markets. We know there are more markets, but these are the markets we really want to pay attention to. All right. And then you have the London session that opened up this morning, and the US session is technically open. All right. It is open. Now, we also understand, so that begins a liquidity push in the US market. However, Wall Street does not open until 9:30. And so you're going to start seeing a shift and a change as the liquidity starts flowing through the market. Let's check our liquidity. Ta-da, look at where we are right now, okay? We are above. Remember, we were below this morning. Now we're above our average liquidity in the market. So look at that. Look at the liquidity. So it had to update. So we are well above. There's a lot flowing through the market on this Monday morning. And this is why we call it, you can have a mixed market Monday, but you can also have a money making Monday. All right. That means that there's money in the market. All right. That is in a nutshell. Go read this. Okay. Go read this and see. We went through this on training. I told you guys to go back and do the training, right? Go back and watch the training, right? So the higher liquidity usually means better spreads as more transactions are being made, right? Exactly. So I can't highlight this for some reason. It's not letting, there we go. So, right? Higher liquidity usually means better spreads or more transactions are being made. So guess what that means? That means that there's more money in the market. In a nutshell, right? Let me bluff it. Bottom line up front, there's more money in the market. So I want you guys to get in a habit, because we don't force trades. We trade when the money is there. I keep telling you, we don't force the market. We do not force the market, but you can see the liquidity that's flowing through the market. So this is what's average for this time. We've seen this change too. And this is our current liquidity. Okay. So it's showing you that there's quite a bit happening in the market. All right. And so now you're starting to see that push that flows through. Matter of fact, the other trade is taking profit. We should have took profit on Euro GBP as well. So we're definitely at that. This is our harmonic scanner trade that we marked up this morning. This is our harmonic scanner trade that we marked up this morning, right? That is what this is. Who got a hot mic? Let's mute. Let's see. So that was our harmonic scanner trade that we marked up. So we should, did anybody 777 in the chat, did we cash out at all? Right? Did we cash out? So y'all like, wow, is right. There we go. See, look how it jumps around. It jumps around, right? It's still showing you that there's a lot of money. So it was just at 429%. So it's money in the market today. It's money in the market, okay? Want you guys to know it is money in the market. And so now, once again, this call is a little faster pace, and I want to be clear. Look here, look here. Right? Let's look at this. US 30 on the hour. I like the sound of that. So let's see here. And let's go analyze. Let's go see what we are. Now, first things first is I'm going to drop down, okay? I'm going to drop down. Before I get into this, do I have any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any questions, right? GBP USD, I want you to keep watching those. Our London session pairs do get liquidity when Wall Street opens. There is a liquidity push in these as well, okay? There will be, because now both markets are open, all right? So that means that as you see the strength of this, we should get some push there as well, okay? I want you guys to pay attention to those, okay? Those are our trades, so we didn't do anything else. We kind of focused on those this morning. Now, how does the BYOB cash out strategy work? Now, you notice that, let me break this down for you, okay? Let me help you. My higher time frames give my market direction. It does not matter if I'm trading my Forex, if I'm trading my commodities, if I'm trading my indices, if I'm trading my crypto, if I am trading a stock, it does not change, okay? This is a market strategy. BYOB cash out is a market strategy. It is not for this, for a scalp, for what, it is a market strategy, okay? I want to be very, very clear. Also, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, when this bell rings, remember, it is a mixed market Monday. However, I want you to not be spazzing out because you see people pushing the button, all right? Now, you guys need to push the button, but you need to do it in your demo account. You can also focus on those Forex pairs, some of the ones that we identified and we kind of went through this morning. But I want you to know this is your bonus check. This is not what you're compounding. I don't want any 888s on this, okay? I want my bonus check. Y'all hear me clearly? This is the bonus check. So no, I'm not. Let me walk you back through that, okay? So you might have to come back to a nighttime training because we only have about 12 minutes, to really kind of get into that. But if we walk through it, because in the mornings, because we always talk about that. So I'll be a lot more clear if we have time on here today. I want to make sure we get through the analyzation of these indices, okay? But if I can answer it, I'll come back to it. So here we are on a 5-minute, okay? Now here, higher time frames, direction. Mid time frames is my analysis. My lower time frame is my entry. The market, no matter what time frame you're looking at, it does not change. All right, it's still the same market. It's just how you're viewing it, right? Once again, if I'm sitting in your face, that's the 5-minute chart. Remember, I'm in your face. But if I'm looking at you from an airplane, it does not change, which might be the 4-hour. Does not change where you are geographically. It just changes how I see you. And that's the same way the market is. All right, so why are we flipping charts and flipping time frames? Because I might need to get a close-up view of you, and I might only need to see you from the airplane. All right, I want to be clear on that. So we're not trading, like I know I'm on a 5, but I need a closer view because the market moves a lot faster when we're dealing. This is the Dow Jones that we're talking about, okay? So now, this is my 80, right? My 80. So my 80 is if I'm around that 80 or around that 20. Around my 80, my stochastic is still my leading indicator. You see how that doesn't change? So I need that blue line that crosses over the red in a downward momentum, right? That's actually what I'm looking for. I need that blue line that crosses over the red in that downward momentum. And then I see I have around a 20, I needed that crossover and cross up in an upward momentum. You notice how we just got that PSAR flip right here. So, So now that blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum, right? That blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum, that red candle with a flat top and that PSAR, right? That's what we're looking for. So now that's the BYOB cash out, all right? That's what that is. That is what that is. So now what I need to do is what we call time frame confluence. So my time frame confluence, you know, I need to go to the 30. So when I do that, when I come to my 30, right? When I come to my 30, then what happens is blue line cross over the red, right? Let me see, you said how what? How what? Good morning, good morning. Help me out, how what? All right, so I'm gonna go back because I needed some clear. How do I get the time options on your vibrato? Click here, all right? This little drop down right here. And when you do it, you have to put the stars by the ones that you want highlighted. So you notice that when Ms. Anderson is training, because she's teaching the foundation, she'll only have the 5 to 15 in an hour. But because I'm going through more of it, I'll have, so it's just you're highlighting that. And then, you know, that's why that's what shows up, because that's what I've selected, right? So now here we are on the 5 minute. So on the 5 minute, we got the blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum. You're welcome. A red candle with a flat top and a PSAR flipped, okay? That's what we're looking at for the BYOB cash out. And then when I jump up to the 30 minute, that means it needs to be in alignment. We kind of saw this morning exactly how that works, okay? We saw that. And then so you see that blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum. Right here, you have that red candle, but we don't have a PSAR because I'm not looking for that to be set up that way. I don't need it set up. I need it giving me direction. I need to be making sure that we're in alignment, right? I'm in alignment. So alignment, just think about like your car, alignment, right? That's what that is. And then of course, on the 3 minute, when I'm on a 3 minute, right? Now you can see that we're still selling. So, right, it's like a confirmation. That's exactly what it is. It's an alignment. I'm confirming, right? And so now look at the mixture that just happened. So on my hour, I trigger for an hour. On my hour, I trigger for an hour. On my hour, I trigger for a buy, right? We notice that the market has been buying. And then on my 5 minute, I just triggered for a sale. So let's analyze that sale and then we'll come back and kind of look at the hour. So now let me make this a little bit brighter. And we're going to look right here. And I'm gonna put these numbers in here, 35944. All right, so 0.42 right here. So right there, I trigger for a sale on my 5 minute. So we always know that whenever this triggers, it's always called in a correction, all right? The market does not move in a straight line. So this is always called in a correction. And so right here, right? When you see that, it's called in a correction. That means that my 30 minutes should be selling, right? That confirmation, that alignment, right? Which my 30 minute candle is selling. So we notice, what does that mean? That the activity, we're tapping on a support and resistance line, okay? So that means that this is bouncing off of that. But there's an expectation for this to finish and then for it to continue in that sell. Kind of like you see right here. This was selling, it pulled up, that would have created a trigger. So for clarification, did I say on the hour we don't need a PSAR? You don't, if you want to, we're not waiting for the hour to set up. We're not waiting for the hour to set up. We're not waiting on the hour to set up. I say that every time. Every time we're not waiting on the hour to set up. And so there needs to be some alignment. So there's, you know, you can do 10 pips and cash out. Well, this is indices, but it's either 10 pips and cash out or you trade to the first support and resistance line. If I'm going to go longer than that, then I need more of a setup. So no, I don't. If you wait on the PSAR, you're going to miss all the trade. Okay, I'm waiting on the setup, but I need it on the time frame that I'm analyzing. I must have it on the time frame I'm analyzing. Okay, so but we have, being that it has flipped right here on the 30, it looks really, really good. When an hour trigger, does that no, that's not what that means. It doesn't mean more pips. And then this is points, but that doesn't mean more pips. It's about the direction of the market. Anything over 10 pips and cash out, right? Anything over 10 pips and cash out, anything over that, anything other than that 15-minute chart where we are, you have to understand support and resistance lines. So remember, you're building on top of that skill set. So we start you at a foundation. That's what Tuesday nights are all about. That's why Tuesday nights are so important, right? That's why we have a basics educator, because that is why that's so important. You build on top of that foundation. You cannot expect to start school in the 12th grade and you haven't learned how to read in elementary school yet. So Tuesday night, you're learning how to read. You're learning how to see the charts. You're learning how to build on that foundation. So you have to master that. And then what I'm doing is walking you through how to build on top of that, right? That's what I'm doing, all right? And so when you go after a trade, remember, it doesn't matter where the trigger happens. You have to know how to read the market. So let me walk through these. We only have about 4 minutes. So now here, okay, so we know that this trigger for a sale. So that's a valid trigger, okay? Very valid. Now, I also want you to see that we are in the process of making higher highs. Look at how this market is getting higher, right? We're getting higher. Technically, I can put a support and resistance line on here, right? A trend line, not a support and resistance. So we can see where it's kind of tapping. Now, of course, I could bring it down and make it prettier, but for the sake of time, we're going to stay right here. We got 3 minutes. So right here, my 5 minute, you can see where it's bouncing off of there. My 30 minute, that's why that 5 minute is doing what it's doing. Now we triggered on the hour. My hour, I triggered for a buy. Okay, my hour, I triggered. Remember, guys, I told you this call is a little faster pace, right? Because we are pressed for time, not pressed for time, but we understand that bell rings. I can't change the time the bell rings. So I have to be able to get to what it's doing, right? All right, so it's really the same thing as where it triggered at, right? So really around that same area. So I think I just put that one in there. So it's at 4 or 5 that this triggered for a buy on my 1 hour. Now we do know that my 1 hour is in a sale. If I check my 4 hour is in a buy, right? So we do understand why that trigger happened. So we want to be mindful of anything when that bell rings. We want to be mindful of anything that spikes down for a sale. Also, as I'm looking right here, I also want to be mindful of that last significant level. I also want to be mindful of that trend line, okay? So my last significant level, I need to be very, very clear, right? I need to be very, very clear what's happening right here, right? So, right, very, very clear what's transpiring right here, all right? But we also see the reaction that's happening on this trend line. So remember, so when going back to that triggers question, doesn't matter where it triggers. It doesn't matter because it doesn't change the market. You're going to see more triggers on my lower time frame, okay? I'm going to see more triggers on my lower time frame, right? I'm gonna see more triggers on my lower time frame because that's where more activity is. Just think about, let me go back to this, how this market operates, okay? So that is from a higher time frame. Just think about it. That 4 hours, like the head of the household, that's the husband, right? That higher that's who has the authority, right? That's who runs the household. That's the head of the household. The hour is the spouse, the wife, right? That's the wife. So they need to be, you see how my S&P best friend is still looking like it. We don't have a lot of time. I'm trying to get this point out. So that S&P, the 1 hour is in alignment with that. So my 4 hour is the head of household. That's where the direction, you don't get a lot of activity there. Just think about it. And when the husband says this is what it is, he don't have to say a lot else. That's it, right? This is what we're going to do. And then the hour, the wife comes in and say, if they're in alignment, the market is nice and it flows smoothly. But then the mid time frames, the 15 and the 30, they have a little bit more activity and they have a little bit of authority because you're building them up to that, right? That's how we do our teenagers, right? We build them up. And then my lower time frames are the toddlers, right? The ones, remember my granddaughter, I told you about my granddaughter. She always has something to say. And so that's that 5 minutes. She always they're the loudest in the house. They always moving. They always have something to say. You're going to have so much more activity. Yeah, we at the bell. we're going to have so much more activity on that time frame. It's so much more activity on that time frame. But that doesn't mean they have authority. I wish I would come in my house and ask my granddaughter what we doing. She don't have no authority. So you're gonna get more triggers because they make more noise. So let's see what happened. Look at this candle. We got a nice 30-minute candle here. All right, just kind of remember that. Y'all kind of remember that. So it doesn't matter where the trigger comes in at. It does not matter at all. So let's see if we can get some $100 days out of this. I want to be mindful. Let's see. Look at my stochastic right here. We do have some mixture going on in here. Let's see with my S&P, we didn't get a chance to go. Y'all had a lot of questions this morning. That's good though. I do like it when you ask the questions. No, you're not asking. Just think about it. So and I'm using those analogies because I want you to understand this market is real people. We're looking at real people making real life decisions. So, you really want to put it in perspective because we'll have a tendency to compartmentalize. You see it's trying to break through there. Let's drop down. So it broke. This is why I can drop down on the 1 minute on here because I've already done my higher analysis, right? We've already done that. Oh, y'all got questions because it got cold. Oh, wait till Thursday. Oh my gosh. I said I was going to feel like, am I in Jacksonville? So let's see here. So you see how it's wicking out? This is why we wait. This is the Dow Jones. This is why we wait. So you see this? I do not want anybody caught up in this. My stochastic is still down right there. But look at what's happening. We're probably going to push up. You see, what is it doing? It's bouncing off that trend line. We're going to respect that trend line. All right. We're going to respect that trend line. Now, also look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq is selling. Let's mark this up. Let's see. Let's see. Remember, as long as S&P and my US 30 they flowing good, that's a good sign. My Nasdaq can do whatever it wants because it's technology. But I don't like, I'm going to tell you this right here, my stochastic, my leading indicator is pointed up. So I'm not getting excited about this sale. I'm really not. Now this, I'm going to give it a minute before I do anything. You say that's a good analogy. You remember the granddaughter and the husband. Right. It's the same way we live life. You're going to see some 777 here in a minute because I already know my super scalpers are on the move. So let's see, this is the highest, right? We're at the highest it's ever been, right? So my US 30 has never been this high before. Okay, so what do we need to do? We're going to come in here and we're going to put in here some pivots. So I want you to pay attention to that pivot point right here. Let me go mark that back up. I'm going to actually mark it up. All right. Let's see if we can get some. Now, remember, we're not going to force it because we do have news. It's actually almost to this point. So I'm going to tell you, I will let it break here and then I would trade it from here to here if it pulls through there. There's too much fluctuation in it for me. Too much fluctuation. If you guys have ever called me and my granddaughter been in the background, you understand why she is the 5-minute chart. Why? She haven't stopped talking or crying since she was 3 months old. She had colic at 3 months and she hasn't stopped crying since. I'm telling you, she's been crying since then. She's 3, so that's a long time. So we're about to break through here. She thinks she's a boss. I'm telling you, she thinks she's a boss. All right. So we're looking right here. Let's see. We're trying to get through there. All right, let's see what is gold doing, our commodities. We want to make sure. So everything is kind of built at a buy, right? So we see gold 2 hours ago, almost 3, that it triggered for a buy. There's some consolidation on gold, right? You can kind of see it's been struggling to buy, and now it's sitting on the support and resistance line. So I want you to pay attention, right? We are definitely at the top where we are overbought. So this buy played out back then, but you want to pay attention to where we are. So there's mixture. Let's talk about this mixture. This is my 4 hour, okay? My head of household. Look what my head of household is doing. Then here comes the wife. The wife is looking for a sale. They're not in agreement. They're not in agreement. You see that? So what does that give me? It gives me a mixed market. So it gives you a mixed household, right? It's going to be some confusion in there. So we don't want to tap dance around in that. All right. So you understand that if you do trade with the mom, that you are counter trend trading. You know, it will not stand. So well, see, I can't ride with them. Not in agreement like many couple. We cannot. You understand it? It's not gonna stand. You want them in alignment. We want them in alignment. All right. Like right here. I told you guys to let it break through here before you did anything, and look, it bounced off of that pivot point. So we'll see. We have another 5 minutes. See, another 5 minutes. Let's go see what happened. You see how this went? So, right? All right. So you see this? Yours, so that's where that is. So you see, your 8s are different. I don't know what you. All right.
Hey, I want to jump in here real quick. I want to make sure we're all on the same sheet of music this morning. For those of you who are taking advantage of the indices, I want to make sure that you're operating the best practices. For those of you who are utilizing indices, you need to make sure that you're utilizing that in a separate account. All your accounts should be separate from your Forex account, your cryptocurrency account, as well as your US indices account. And best practices. I want to make sure that you understand that when you are taking advantage of this skill set, then you're going to have the choice to take advantage of all the market. As Ms. Dyer has already stated, this is a market strategy. We're not here to dictate your preference. And you want to make sure that you're using proper risk management when you're taking advantage of everything that you're doing, whether you're cashing out or compounding. And you realize that the market moves a lot quicker in the indices. So you need to be prepared that the compounding will operate in a different capacity. But you need to make sure that the mental capacity is sure. So I want to make sure that every check is a bonus check. Every check is a bonus check. It's just your preference. So I just wanted to make sure that we were clear on that, and you make sure that you govern yourselves properly. Obviously, the difference is when we're taking advantage of the indices, they move at a dollar point per value. So that movement is going to be a lot quicker. So you need to be prepared psychologically if you have pullbacks or things of that nature. And you want to make sure that your account is properly funded in that regards. So I just wanted to reiterate that.
So we do not have a lot. This is pulling back around. This is pulling back around right here. And you can come over here and you can definitely see this. So you can see where this is bounced off of that. So once again, you can see how this liquidity has gone from like 400 and something to where it's actually pulled down, right? It's gone from like 400 and something to where it's actually pulled down. And we do have news at 10 o'clock. So now is the time. Let me go back to that question because I want you still to pay attention to this, okay? I want you all to pay attention to this, okay? Pay attention to this, right? Because it can move. You know, the market can move at 9:45. So we know we can get that break that's coming through there. Pay attention. I just want to go back. I told you if we had time that I would go back and answer that question. It looks like it's going to break through there. And I want you guys to pay attention. So I'm going to try to go back to that question. But this is how we get those $100 days, right? This is how we do that. So just know, right, that when we're doing that, do not increase. I want you guys to make sure as far as your lot sizes, that's why we're talking about that as far as our indices. But when we're talking about our Forex, I'm talking to you about compounding, right? So I'm talking to you about compounding when we're talking about our Forex pairs, but I'm talking to you about $100 days and then some because of the amount of liquidity that flows through it. So that's where you hear the difference on the calls. But I want you to pay attention, and I'm trying to find that question that we had. Now is the time when we have the market moving the way that it is, and we know we have news gearing up because we know at 9:45 we're going to pause on our trading because we have news coming up. Maybe if you can drop that question again that I told you I'd come back to. I'm scrolling through here. I'm trying to get it. Let's see. Okay, when you say the direction, are you meaning the trend? Are you looking for the last few candles on the hour? So I want to be clear. All right, let's be clear. Let's go back over here where we don't have much movement. Let me do some training real quick because the markets. So you guys should have your screens up as well. But as you can see, Nasdaq did close out. So you guys remember Nasdaq closed out. So Nasdaq pulled to here. So Nasdaq did close out. So you could have profited here. My S&P and my US 30, you can see it's really this is in a rejection state. And so, but my stochastic is pulling up. So I'm not happy about a sell right there. My 5 minute is, but remember that doesn't have any authority. My 15, right? That's who you leave in charge if you left anybody in charge. That's what's pulling up. And then of course, look at my hour. My hour is in a sell, and my 4 hour is so it's up here. So we're gonna see if we get some pull on that. But we also have news that's coming up. So we're just gonna be mindful of that. But my Nasdaq did close out. My Nasdaq is where you guys should have taken profit. We marked this up, and my Nasdaq is where we took profit this morning. So my Nasdaq did sell. This is a difference between trading and investing because right now my investors are not happy. As this market opened this morning, my investors are not happy, but as a trader, we are. And so this might pull back some more based on what we just saw, based on what we know already. But I'm going to go back while that's kind of allowing itself to kind of play out because I did not take a trade on US 30. I did not take a trade on S&P. But Nasdaq is the one that we know we had set up. And Nasdaq did kind of drop. But then it's still kind of a mixture. So if you didn't take it, you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay when the market is mixed like it is right now. And we know we have a red folder. But let me go back and let me help you guys. Let me make this clear because it doesn't matter what you're trading on. So here, right, when I'm looking here, right, this is my 4 hour. Let's focus right here. This is what I mean by alignment, okay? So let's look right here where this crossover begins to happen, all right? So if you guys see it moving, let me know. We'll jump back over there. But right here, we got about 2 minutes to that 45. We know the bell rings at 9:30. Then at 5 minutes after, we might get some movement. Then by 45. 45 doesn't happen. We're not touching it because they got news coming up at 10 o'clock. And we're educated. We're disciplined traders, okay? We're disciplined. That's why this is not gambling. So let me go ahead and let me see right here. All right. So right here, when I'm looking at here, so what I'm seeing is this blue line cross over the red. This is what's crossing down, okay? This is what's crossing down. And you can see this is my 4 hour. So somebody tell me what my 4 hour is saying. Because we've gone over this, and so I want to make sure that you guys are with me. So somebody tell me. So we're going to have a mastery check. Somebody, I'm waiting on somebody. All right. So no. I'm talking about in that zone, 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 in the zone that I have marked up. So it is selling. I'm not looking at the correction right now. I'm glad you guys are looking at that. I'm talking about strictly in this zone that I'm in, right? All right. So when I'm looking here, all right, so we're in this zone. This is where this is selling, right? This is in that zone, okay? So now when I come here to my hour, all right, look at what happens. So I'm just gonna kind of point this out. The husband, right? The 4 hour, the head of the household. Let's stay with the head of the household. He said it's a sale. So blue line cross over the red, and with the blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum, blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum, right? So you see that overall, my momentum is in a sale. When it dies out, when it begins to die out and it starts to cross, that's why I marked this over here, because, you know, it's died out. Now, when I come to my hour, all right, even though there's a little pullback, right? There's a little pullback that happens right here. The bottom line, the decision is we're selling. It's the same thing I was showing you on the GBP USD this morning. It's the same thing we were talking about this morning on this currency. So you can definitely see right here where that pullback is happening, right? So that little pullback in the stochastic, they were not in alignment. But you see the alignment, once the alignment happened, now they're in agreement, this market continued to sell. It paused for a minute, but then it continued to sell. Are you guys with me? Can you see that? Yes, no, maybe so? Yes, no, maybe so? I got a 555. That means you're with me. 555 in the chat if you're with me. 555 in the chat if you're with me. Right? 555. There we go. So my head of household is it overall in the sale. It says we're selling. My spouse, the wife says, so head of household, the husband, and then you got the 1 hour that says, look, I'm coming with you. We need to stop. Hold on, I got something to say. But overall, we overall in the sale. We all in alignment now. So now when I drop down to my 15, this is where my teenagers are, and my analysis come in, because this is how you analyze to enter a trade. So if you notice that here, blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum, and this happens around, right, around the 80, right? So now we notice that we have an entry point here. Okay, we'll have an entry point over here somewhere, right up in here where this began. I come over here, you see it's not at the 80, but because I know exactly what's going on a higher time frame, I have another entry point right here. So I got 10 pips, I got 10 pips right here. Now here, I have another 10 pips. Okay, I got the blue line cross over the red and the downward momentum. It begins to move down right here. After this correction, okay, there will be another entry point, but I'm not going to do that one because of where we are, because I don't want anybody pushing for that one until you master that skill set. So as we begin coming up, we see it again. Now what happens is my vibrato triggers here, it triggers here, it triggers here, it triggers here. This is where you're going to get triggers on the vibrato. So my vibrato, this is why we have so many on the 15. And then we have so many on the 5, right? Because now on my 4 hour, wasn't this straight down? Wasn't it just one nice momentum with my stochastic? But the more I go down, the more momentum I have in the market. The more I go down, the more momentum. So right here, right, the blue line cross over the red, a downward movement. I'm trying to say movement and momentum at the same time around the 80. Blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum around the 80. Blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum around the 80. Blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum around the 80. So you see, look how much just the stochastic moves. Look how much momentum is in that 4 hour, or in that 4 hour down, in that 4 hour sell, in that 4 hour movement down. So you have to understand where you are, right? I understand where I am in the flow of the market, and this helps me understand when I can better enter a trade, because this is going to help me. Does that bring some clarity? We got a little bit of clarity. Let me check these real quick. See, it didn't cross through. We have some. Awesome. Awesome. My S&P is starting to move, but you know, we like 10 minutes out. We're about 10 minutes out from the bell. Absolutely, yes, 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 absolutely, yes, yes, yes. So when these triggers, right, happen, okay, when these triggers happen, it's probably gonna start moving a few minutes before the bell, but I still want you guys to wait till the bell. The news. When it starts happening, okay, you guys, now you can understand. So even like I showed you this morning on the GBP USD, how it dropped down, right? I showed you on that GBP USD how it moved, but even still, you knew it didn't matter that I could drop down. So you understood that we were in the sale. And this is probably that same time frame. So now we know the overall. So think about it. The 4 hour is the trend of the market. The 1 hour is the swing of the market. It's not just the cold. We was at the zoo last night. So me and my daughter was nonstop yesterday. So, and then getting up in the cold this morning. But yes, absolutely. So you see it's this trend of the market, the 1 hour is the swing of the market. You probably heard that at some of the trainings that you went back to. The trend of the market, the swing of the market. So if you think about it like that, so that 1 hour might be when it's going against it, the current swing of the market is in a sale. That's the current swing of the market right there. So you think about this would be the swing of the market, but I still want my swing of the market to be in alignment with the trend of the market. All right, that's gonna always make the better trade. Bitcoin just triggered for a buy. Let's jump real quick. So Bitcoin on my 5 minute, it just triggered for a buy. Right, it triggered for a buy. And as you can see, so 61789, 781.96. But yeah, I am tongue twisted this morning. But you guys know what I'm saying. Oh, and let me give a shout out. Who is that? Is he on the call? First $2,000 day? Oh my gosh, I was so happy for you. Guys, that's a year of trading. Let me tell you guys, that's a year of trading. You commit to yourself. That happened with a year. So a year of trading, a year of commitment, a year of diving in. So, I mean, obviously you cashing out in between, in the meantime, in between time. But yeah, to be able to get to that point where you have your first $2,000 day, I salute you and congratulations. Congratulations. So 61781. So we can see, look at how this curve is happening. Look at where we are as far as that. That's why Bitcoin triggered for a buy, right? So when I look here, all right, when I look here, I want you to be mindful. Bitcoin has peaked, all right? Bitcoin has peaked. Bitcoin has peaked. So I want you to be very mindful that, remember, Bitcoin surges, cryptocurrency surges, okay? So you don't want to try to force a trade past this. And look at how it's been wicking out. So even if my super scalpers get in here, I want you to be very mindful of what's going on. And I want you to pay attention to those cycle levels, okay? I definitely want you to pay attention to those. So any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any. See how this thing is just kind of hanging out right in here? So it's waiting for the news to hit at 10. Do not forget, this is non-farm payroll week, non-farm payroll. So the market is you're going to have a mixed market week. The very first week of every month, you're going to have a mixed market week. Wednesday is when the reports start coming in and they start playing into the week, okay? That's when they start coming in. And so that's when the reports start coming in, the market starts. So remember, we need the direction of the market, okay? We need that direction. So it look like we're trying to gear up. Let's see, that we get any new triggers. So we just triggered for a sale. Be mindful of that. That's what it looked like the market is going in. That's what it appears that it's trying to do. However, we're not taking a trade before the news at 10 o'clock. We are too close to it. We're going to operate in discipline. We're going to be disciplined. Discipline is what keeps us in profit. Discipline is what keeps us in profit. Discipline. All right. But as you can see, it's gearing up. All right. So any questions, comments, or testimonies? I'm looking for 777s after we close out this call. Any questions, comments, or testimonies? All right, none? None? All right, well, guys, what I'm gonna do right now is, yes, discipline, yes, it equal profit and it equal compounding. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna actually turn this call over to Miss Is Reed, our prayer warrior, and she's gonna close us out strong for this week. Oh, before I do, Miss Reed, give me one more minute. Guys, tomorrow, right? We know we have a Power Pack Tuesday. We know that this is also Veterans Day is this month. And so I definitely want to make sure that all of you all, you tune in, you bring a veteran to our broadcast, okay? Bring a veteran to our broadcast, because this is our salute to veterans. We really want you to help you understand how you can move from boots to banks. Now, I'm gonna tell you why this is so important for veterans as we salute and we thank you for our service, because we were willing to give our life for freedom. We were willing to give our lives for the freedom of everyone out here. And we wanna make sure that we transition properly, because that is something that does not happen. That is something that does not transpire well within our military. And so you have many people that are looking and seeking and searching. And that is why so many veterans do 2, 3, 4 jobs, or try to set up or get those good government jobs before they retire, because that's how it's set up. And it's absolutely no reason why, after you've served and you've had the inconsistencies of where you're going to live, the deployments, the family separations, all of the things that we have to deal with, that we have to come back and try to begin, then it's really that same mindset that happens when you're 20. When you're 18 to 20, because that's when you're trying to figure out life. That's when you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. That's when you're trying to figure out what is out there. What is going to transpire in my life? What can I do with my life? So imagine having to seek that at 40 and 45, when you are in that retirement phase, when you are now transitioning into the civilian world, and it is completely different. And so we want to make sure that veterans have an opportunity to where they can control the narrative. And that's what Boots to Banks is all about. Because I'm telling you now, it is an experience like no other to have to transition into the civilian world. It is really a culture shock. And so that is why many veterans experience what they do. And so that's what tomorrow's broadcast is all about. So you want to make sure you're attentive. You want to make sure you're sharing it. You want to make sure that you have some veterans as some guests. All right. You want to do that. All right. So Ms. Reed.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, we thank you so much for all the clarity, and for that illustration this morning was wonderful. Let's pray. Great morning, God. We confidently and boldly come to you. So glad that we qualified to do so. You invited us. You said, come boldly to the throne of grace to obtain mercy and find grace at this time of need. We ever needed you. We need you now, God. We thank you so much, Lord. We need you God, to lead and guide us, just as you did so graciously led our visionary, Mr. Rogers, to start the largest economic empowerment movement known to mankind. Thank you for directing him to Miss Dyer and Dr. Bythewood. We thank you that Miss Anderson, Miss Brantley, Miss Perry, Mr. Sims, and Pastor Washington were waiting in the wings to say yes to your will, yes to your word, and yes to your way. God, nobody but you can put situations, circumstances, conditions, and people together like you do. So we thank you in advance for the next 1 million households who are waiting to be impacted, empowered, and educated by March 28, 2022. We decree and declare that we are taking our responsibility to do our part to be the manifestation of this vision. So glad we're on your radar, for you are looking for true worshipers to worship you in spirit and in truth. And in that and all things, we give you thanks. Amen. And thank God. And this officially ends this prophet call. We'll see you tomorrow on our Power Packed Tuesday. tomorrow at 5 a.m. Let's go our way rejoicing in profit after we're patient and patient and patient, and then we'll profit.